Get that fucking trash out of your life. You have legacies to build. We grew that business from 3.4 million to 17.1. Horsepower, not horse shit. You want to be the parent that's an ally. They don't need another fucking friend. Not everybody's cup of whiskey. Toughest advice for the toughest businessmen. Be relentless. The great badass Arnold Schwarzenegger once said, if it jiggles, it's fat. If it jiggles, it's fat. Basically, Sir Arnold was saying, muscle doesn't jiggle. Muscle doesn't jiggle. If it jiggles, there's a good chance it's fat. So I was thinking about fat in our lives and in our businesses, fat in our badass worlds. If it jiggles, it's fat. And I was thinking the other day, here we are in the second quarter of 2023 already. Unbelievable. January, February, and March are gone. They're gone. You either invested that time or you spent that time. You either invested that energy or you spent that energy. I'm happy to report I went 90-0 on my Seinfeld calendar. 90 wins, 0 losses for doing the 1 or 2 things I have to do every day to get that Jerry Seinfeld red X on the calendar. 90-0 for an ordinary guy with no special talent. I just have a passion and an obsession for world building. What does your scorecard read the first 3 months of the year? And if you're not happy with it, what do you plan to do about it? Why can't April be your best month in history? Why can't April be the greatest month in your life? Why not you, and why not now? There's nothing stopping you but yourself. That's my goal, to make April 2023 the greatest month of my life. It's going to take work. It's going to take focus. It's going to take all those things. But I'm 90-0, and I plan on going another 30-0 this coming month. What's in front of you? You prepared to go here? You prepared to step up your game? I don't care what your record was the first 3 months. You can do better. If you're 90-0, you can do better. Nobody cares. Nobody's patting anybody on the back. You need to do even better in the second quarter. But what's amazing to me is all the New Year's resolution tomato can crowd is gone, right? Most people have given up. 99.9% of people have surrendered all their dreams and goals, all their resolutions by January 16th. Think about that for a minute. All their goals, all their so-called dreams, all their targets are surrendered by January 16th. Like, that's one of the most pathetic statistics I've ever heard in my life. When you think about it, you've got a majority of people, the 99%, and what are they thinking? They're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and statistics prove by January 16th they're done. They're done. They've wrapped it up. They've quit, and they're done. So interesting. The gyms now are empty for you. The fitness centers are empty. The walking paths are empty. I'm out here on a Sunday morning at daybreak, and I mean, I've met 2 people now. So it's not like there's massive competition in the second quarter of the year. Most people have wrapped it up by then. And this is where you can really continue to separate yourself as the year goes on. But Q1 is over. The first 3 months of the year are history. They're gone. History, the past does not equal your future. Good morning. No matter what happened in the first 90 days of this year, you have control over the next quarter. So that's my challenge to you, is what to do in the next 30 days, the next 60 days, the next 90 days. So It's amazing because it's spring cleaning time to me. Even though we live in Southwest Florida, there's this feeling now in April of spring in the air. It's getting warmer in Canada, spring in the air. And when I think of spring cleaning, I think about getting all the fat, all of the winter fat out of my life and my business. And it's natural that we all accumulate things in the winter. We accumulate things that don't serve us. We accumulate things that no longer fit in our worlds. And what is spring cleaning for? Spring cleaning is for eliminating that belly fat that's entered our world. So if it jiggles, it's fat. So what fat do you have in your life that needs to go this spring? If I think about this all the time, if you have in your world any toxic friends, whether they're high school buddies, whether they're golf buddies, whether you're beer drinking fucko friends, whatever it is, if you've got ordinary people that don't believe in you, if you have people in your life that don't support you, if you have people that are energy vampires and time vampires, that's fat. That's fat. And what do you have to do with fat? It's like a cancer. You need to cut that out of your life. You need to get away from those people. Those people will rob you of every dream, every ambition, every goal. They will rob you of your confidence. They will rob you of your self-esteem. They will rob you of your time. They will rob you of your energy. And you will be left as a shell of yourself because of association, because of toxic association, because of that fat in your life. We are the average of the 5 people we hang around with. So if the 5 people that you hang around with in your life are toxic, negative, time and energy vampires, that's fat. That jiggles, and that's fat. And fat needs to go. Another one is unprofitable employees. I'm always asked, Michael, what kind of employee do you like? What do you look for in an employee? And I always stun people by saying, what I want in an employee is I want a profitable one. I don't care whether they're black, white, yellow, somebody or nobody. I want somebody that makes me 3x, 5x, 10x, 25x, 200x of what I invest in them. I want a profitable employee. Attitude's important, coachability's important, but what's most important is that this person will be a profit center. What kind of employee do I want? Profitable. When I had 23 employees in the insurance business, all of those employees, no exceptions, were giving me returns of 5x, 10x, 25x, 100x. And the second they were unprofitable, a person would be gone. It's not personal. It's not about my feelings. It's not about anything like that. I want a profitable employee. If you have someone in your business who is not profitable, maybe she's a family friend, maybe he's a high school chum, whatever it is, and they don't make a multiple every day of what you pay them, that's fat. An unprofitable employee is fat, and fat needs to go. Things that you have in your life that no longer you don't use, clutter, things that you purchased that you never touch, just clutter in your life. Clutter repels wealth and success. So when we have a whole bunch of things in our homes and our vehicles and our garages that are just junk and clutter, it actually repels money. So I'm always working on spring cleaning, getting rid of things we no longer use, donate them, send them to the dump, whatever it is, but really important that you get rid of things in your life that are clutter. You know, things that you haven't touched in a year or two. things that are just lying around taking up space. And this can be even friends. You know, if until you get rid of that old toxic friend, you're not going to open up time. It's like a vacuum, right? When you get rid of a toxic friend in your life, it's like a vacuum. You open up a space in your world to meet somebody positive. But unless you delete things, unless you get rid of things, unless you swift sword things, you don't create a vacuum for more room in your life. So clutter, things we don't need, things that we don't use, trivial things in our worlds, in our homes, it's all fat. It's all fat and it needs to go. That's why spring cleaning feels so good. When you clean out the garage, you clean out your home office, you clean out the kitchen. Why do you think you feel so good? You feel so good because you've now just opened up your world magnetically for a whole bunch of good things to come in. You've opened up your world you've got rid of clutter, and now you've made yourself more magnetic to money, success, and good people. Fat. Fat in your world can be things like that no longer serve you. Television is fat. Cell phone addiction, if you're an iPhone junkie, that's major fat. It's a horrible example for your children, your teenagers. It's a horrible example for your spouse, your queen. It's a horrible example for your employees, where you've lost control to a device and you're suffering from digital dementia. You're not addicted to great things, you're addicted to technology. You become a walking slave. You scroll your life away, you start your day scrolling, you end your day scrolling, you look up and your children are gone. You look up and your marriage is lost. You look up and you're 35 pounds overweight. You look up and you're suffering from manufactured mental illness, depression, anxiety, worry. It's all part of the scrolling lifestyle. We're supposed to be out in sunshine, walking in nature, drinking water, eating fresh foods. We're supposed to be out, moving our bodies every day. We're not designed to live in boxes and to stare at screens for 15 hours a day. So any cell phone addiction, anything like that, is massive fat. If it jiggles, it's fat. Politics is one that a lot of men I know waste their time on. If it's not Joe Biden, it was Jimmy Carter. If it wasn't Ronald Reagan, they were following Trump. And on, when really what matters is what happens in your house. What really matters is what happens in your house. You can spend all your mental energy on things like that, or you can worry about what happens at your own kitchen table. You can focus on nightly dinners without technology with your queen and your children. You can worry about what happens in your house and not the White House. Any applications on your phone for politics, access to social media, any apps on your phone that are just gateways into these mental illness swamps. So if you have apps on your phone that, notify you when somebody, Twitter or Face Snap or Instagrunt or any of these other swamps, that's all fat. If you have any notifications on your phone, it's all fat. The only thing I can do with this broken iPhone is shoot videos, and I can get phone calls and texts, but I don't have any notifications, because notifications are just fat. I'm not a Pavlov dog. I don't jump when the bell dings. I don't jump when McLean, I don't return call. I don't take phone calls. I make phone calls. Big difference. So if you have those applications on your phone, if you're carrying an entertainment system in your hand, it's all fat. It's all fat, and it all needs to go. What else is there? Just environment. Like, your environment is for champions, willpower is for chumps. If you're in a situation where you're trying to change your behavior, let's say you're trying to quit smoking, or you're trying to stop drinking alcohol, or you're trying to change some negative behavior, and you haven't cleaned out your environment, if you still have alcohol in your home, if you still hang around people that smoke tobacco, any of these things, you don't have a chance because you haven't controlled your environment. And it shows that you're not serious about winning. It shows that you're just a willpower guy, which means, environment is for champions, willpower is for chumps. Look at that sunrise below, behind me. Another day, my creator has said, I'm not done with you yet, Michael. No matter what I feel like when I get up in the morning, I don't want to put on my shoes. It's a Sunday morning, and I'm the only person out here. I've met 4 people now, and I love Sunday mornings because the world is asleep early, and you get moments like this where you can just come out and you can drink some water and you can walk and get some fresh air, and you get a sunrise like that as your reward. Look at that. Only a very, very minute few people get to watch that every morning. And I'm one of those people because I get up at 1 minute to 6. I'm out here walking and shooting these videos. And my reward on most days when it's nice and clear is that sunrise behind me. And then I get to sit by the pool in the evenings with my wife, Krista, and my daughter, Emery, and I get to watch the sun set on most nights when it's clear. Man, tell me life isn't a gift. Tell me life isn't a gift. So I got one more day. He isn't done with me yet. I got one more day to claim my personal sovereignty. Can't do it if my life is full of fat. Can't do it if my life is full of fat. Every day you gotta be curating. Every day you have to be swift sorting. Every day you have to be cutting the rope with toxic people, toxic habits, toxic substances. And you need to be controlling, number one, your environment. Building a success environment where you cannot misbehave. I always say I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself not to drink alcohol. I don't trust myself to walk. I don't trust myself to do my marketing in the morning. I don't trust myself even to read books. I don't trust myself to date my wife. I don't trust myself to drink water. I don't trust myself with any technology. So in all those areas, I could have fat that jiggles. But because I control my environment and the people I hang around with, those are the two big. You can't overcome. There's no vaccination for a negative environment and negative people. There's no vaccination. You will become your environment, and you will become the 5 people you hang out with. There's nothing you can do. It's the most powerful force on earth. So if you proactively pick your environment and design what I call a success environment, and you pick elite men to be around, elite people, man, it's hard to get it wrong. It's hard to get it wrong. It makes it impossible to misbehave. So look at me, like, we don't keep any alcohol in our home. My wife, Krista, has some of those. She'll have a bottle of wine or something. I don't drink wine, so it's nothing to me, right? But there's no beer, there's no whiskey, there's nothing in our home. So I'm controlling the environment. For me to cheat and drink alcohol, I'd have to sneak in my car. I'd need to go to a bar. I'd have to go to a liquor store. I'd have to do something like that, which I'm not going to do. And it's just controlling that environment. Good morning. The same thing when it comes to your work environment is you have a success environment. I get up in the morning and there's my shoes. I literally trip over my shoes. I literally trip over my t-shirt. I trip over my my shirt and all, and I go in, I splash some water, and I put on my shoes and my rucking vest. I got a trip over this 25-pound rucking vest I wear, and I'm out the door before I know it. I literally have all my stuff within a fingertips touch, and I'm out the door walking. If I had to start looking around for stuff in the dark, Krista's still sleeping, and I had to look for my shoes and look for my shirt and where's my stuff? None of it. It's all right there. I get up, I pray, I splash some water on my face, and I'm gone. I drink 2 glasses of water. I don't even trust myself to drink water. So I pour the 2 glasses of water the night before and put them on the kitchen island so that I drink them. As soon as I get up, I walk in the kitchen, and I'm all dressed to walk, and I'm just like boom, boom, like a couple of beers back in the college days. So, I mean, I don't give myself enough. I have my Seinfeld calendar right beside my bed so that I can't miss it. It's staring me in the face. I got to get the red X. I got to get the red X. Don't break the red chain. Don't break the red chain. And then I have my broken iPhone and this gimbal sitting right by my shoes. So I just hook this up. It's already put together. I press play and I start walking and talking. And when I get home, you know what? I've got my writing in my office. I got my laptop sitting out. I've got the one thing sitting there that I'm going to write the article or the email or whatever it is I'm designing, and I write that. And then I have my books laid out in my reading chair. Like when I get back today and I get my coffee as my reward for getting my 2-3 things done, I'll go out to the pool or go out to the dock or the boat if I'm in Canada, and there's my reading material. So today I'm reading a newsletter. I have a newsletter today that I just got because it's April, first week of April, and I have this newsletter that I printed off. I did, and I'm just like, that's what I'm waiting for. Good morning. That's what's my reward. I can't wait to sit down with my highlighter, my cup of coffee, my recipe index cards, and take notes. So as you can see, my date night is every single Wednesday. Like it's on the calendar, 4 Wednesdays in a month. And we don't negotiate those. It's like family pizza night on Friday. We don't negotiate that. We have the same pizza on Friday night by the pool or out on the dock every Friday night. That's my carb Hail Mary event, where I get to eat carbs, and I just love it because I'm a carb monster. At the end of the week on a Friday, that's my celebration. That's my reward. That's my gold star. So, you can control everything that you want by controlling the controllables. And that way, you're not at the mercy of willpower or things that happen beyond your control. But if it jiggles, it's fat. If it jiggles, it's fat. And I think one of the most valuable things you can do now, the first quarter of the year is over. We got 90 days in the books. If those 90 days were fantastic for you, congratulations. Time to do more. There's a lot more work ahead. If the first 90 days of the year were a disappointment, well, own it and fucking fix it. And now it's time to sit down regardless and do some mental spring cleaning in your life, where you say, if it jiggles, it's fat. Muscle doesn't jiggle. And sit down in your journal and just write down anything and everything in your world right now that no longer serves you. If it doesn't fit, it's fat. If it doesn't fit, it's fat. And go through all your business, go through your personal life, go through your friends, go through your associates, go through the foods, go through what you drink, go through what you're consuming, your inputs, go through your technology. If you're a business owner, go through your products. What's the first thing that Steve Jobs did when he returned to Apple to save Apple? Is he took a fucking hatchet to 90% of the products. He's like, what are all these products? He says, we do one thing at Apple. We do one thing. And it was like, he was in the one thing business. If it's the iPod, and then it's the iPad, and then it's the iPhone. but he was in the one or two things business. They had all this other shit and they're losing money and they've got all this money tied up in manufacturing, and he took a hatchet to all of it when he returned, and he just said, okay, this is the one thing we're gonna do. So if you have any products or services that don't make money, just take a swift sword to them and get rid of them. Let somebody else do that. Like in my business here, I shoot videos, I write newsletters, and I facilitate masterminds. I do 3 things. Leanne does 25 things. Marc Andre does 25 things. Yours Relentless does 3. I shoot videos, I write newsletters, and I facilitate our 2 masterminds. That's it. Those are my most profitable things. If I'm not talking or writing, we're not making money. If I'm not talking or writing, we're not making money. So every time I see myself not talking or not writing, I'm like, okay, Michael, where's the profit in this? Where's the profit in this? I'm sitting there, you know, back in the day, I don't participate in social media anymore, but back in the day, I'd be on Twitter, you know, checking out the NFL, or I'd be listening to Mad Dog, Christopher Russo on the radio, and I'd be like, where's the profit in this? Or I'd be looking at something on Facebook, or I'd be shooting, whatever it was, I kept asking myself, where's the profit in this? And there was no profit. And that's fat. It jiggled, so it was fat. So ask yourself, with all these areas in your life and in your business, where is the profit in this? And if there's no profit and there's no ROI, return on investment, it's fat. And then balls up, brass balls up, man up, wise up, and make the tough decisions to get rid of it. If it's people, you don't have to tell them, oh, he's been a friend of mine since high school. My brother-in-law is a nice guy. Just stop spending time with them. Stop inviting them to your home. Stop inviting them on a vacation. Stop, get out of that goofy text group you're in, or get off that ridiculous, childish Facebook group. Just exit. Do what my grandfather called the Scottish exit. The Scottish exit, where if you're at a restaurant or a pub, I'm famous for the Scottish exit. We're at a pub, we're at a meeting, we're at whatever it is, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm just gonna use the bathroom, and then nobody sees Yours Relentless again. That's it for the evening. Gone, just disappeared. Vapor, Scottish exit. Yeah, I'm just gonna, no goodbyes, no handshakes, no see you later, what are you doing this weekend, what are you doing next? None of it. Just the Scottish goodbye. I'm gonna use the restroom, and then nobody sees Sir MJM ever again until the next time we get together. I love it, the Scottish exit. So use the Scottish exit with your friends that no longer serve you. You don't have to make a big announcement about it. You don't have to write them, or just start spending almost no time with them. They'll get the hint. They'll move on and suck the time and energy out of somebody else. That's the thing about time vampires and energy vampires and toxic people, is they'll find somebody else to latch their fangs into. They'll find somebody else for their bloodthirsty rituals. It just doesn't have to be you. So just remember, men, if it jiggles, it's fat. Use the discipline of accurate thinking. Quit lying to yourself. Quit negotiating with yourself. Quit negotiating the process. You know what needs to be done. And get the spring cleaning going today. And if take an inventory of your world. And if it jiggles, it's fat. If it jiggles, it's fat. And fat needs to go in 2023. That's it. Today is the final day to sign up for my Badass Millionaire Rules Edition newsletter. I do this once or twice a year. As you know, it's my most popular one, where I write about the new rules I use in my world. They're rules that have allowed me to sell $155 million in products and services, but also do it with peace of mind. I've been able to live life and do business on my own terms. So these are called my Michael McLean Badass Millionaire Rules. And I wrote 25 of them in my book, How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in Business and in Life. You can get a copy of the book at nobullbook.com. That's nobullbook.com. But I have 10 new rules that I'm going to be sharing in this month's newsletter in April, and it's going to print on Friday at midnight. So that's the cutoff. So if you want a copy, if you want access to my new 10 Badass Millionaire Rules, you need to subscribe to my tribe now. Badassletter.com. Badassletter.com. And then you'll get the paper and ink copy of the newsletter. I'll send in one of these new badass black t-shirts. $3.25 a day is my newsletter tribe brotherhood cost. If you can't invest $3.25 into your money, your wealth, your marketing, your marriage, your fitness, your health, then you're a pretender, not a contender. You're a chump, not a champion. Badassletter.com. Deadline is Friday night at 11:59 p.m. That's when it's going to print. That's Leanne's cutoff, and after that, you're out. Immigration is closed. The doors are still open until Friday. Badassletter.com. If you don't want to shop online, email my badass bitch in charge, Leanne Brennan. Leanne's email is below, leanne@badassmillionaire.com. This April, my favorite thing, my Badass Millionaire Rules Edition. My Badass Millionaire, 10 brand new rules that I'm using in my personal life and my business life to live life on my own terms, to design my business around my life, not my life around my business. You are gonna love this April edition. Badassletter.com. 2 words that have changed my life, 2 words that will change your life. Hey, if it jiggles, it's fat, get rid of it. Be relentless.